Here are 5 cars you can buy today for under $1,000 that don't require any wrenching. Starting with the 1999 Hyundai Accent. So the trick to these is don't go after something that seems super flashy. Go after the simpler, known to be reliable type of vehicles. The Hyundai Accent is one of them. It's a super basic, bare bones. We're talking mechanical windows. It's the bare necessities, which means number one, it was cheaper to manufacture, meaning the overall cost is lower. And number two, less stuff that can break.
I feel like 90s cars just ran better and just lived longer.
90s was a good era.
Yeah.
Not even just Honda and Toyota, but just across the board.
Yeah, they just drove and went and lived.
Now the owner states all it needs is a couple spark plugs. That's a loaded statement, so who knows what actually is going after that, but if it runs okay, that's a keeper.
What about your oil leaks? That's just a constant oil change.
Next up, Subaru Impreza. This is the LS Wagon, made in 1993, another 90s vehicle. This is a super bare bones, really simple, but the owner put a lot of effort into this one. There's a nice video of the car running. There's a lot of details behind a $1,000 vehicle. That's super rare. Most of the time, you're sick of something, you don't want to work on it, just throw it out there for $1,000 and that's it. So the fact that they're willing to put that much effort is really good. 150,000 miles with no leak and it runs fine. That's hard to believe.
That's very hard to believe.
That's a really easy vehicle to just buy and flip. How about a 1998 Buick Riviera? That's a car you don't hear very often.
I don't know if I've ever heard of it before.
I didn't even know what they look like before seeing the for sale post, but it looks like a cheap car that gets you from grocery store to work and back. So here is the thing that gives you that disclaimer of, hey, this is a $1,000 vehicle. So the radiator fan technically worked. They wired in the switch from inside of the cabin to override the actual controller, and it works. It won't overheat. You just got to remember to turn that switch off so the battery doesn't die.
You see that coolant there going up, you're like, oh, turn that back down.
How about a newer one, folks? A 2007 Chrysler Sebring. Didn't know that was a vehicle. I thought it was just a racetrack, but here we are talking about it. This one going for $900, features all caps description. You know they're serious. You know they ain't got time for this. They just want to get that thing out. This one posts about a radiator leak. So be careful for this one. If it's a coolant leak, you have to know what to inspect. Radiators are easy. On a pinch, you can put egg yolks on the radiator and that'll fix it. Mythbusters did an episode on that. Don't recommend it. Organic eggs aren't going to last that long on a radiator. But if you inspect around the engine, you can confirm it's not coming from the upper end or around that head region of the motor, then that might be a good deal for you. And finally, if you need a little extra space, try a Jeep Compass. This one going for $900. The description talks about needing new motor mount, so you might sense a little bit of vibration from the front. Make sure it's not a weird knocking type of sound. It's okay to feel a thud. It's not okay to hear something metallic-y going on from the inside of the motor. So the way you can check a motor mount is if you press on the throttle, you got somebody looking at the engine bay, you should see the engine flexing back and forth abnormally. So that's a good way to check that that's actually all it needs, and that would fix whatever sound that might be coming in from it. And then it talks through a couple other check engine lights. Folks, check engine lights are another way of life. It's okay. We're trying to get to work and back. We don't need to worry about that. So
just get a black sticker and put it right over top where that check engine light is.
That's right.
And it's good as gone.
So what do you think? Do you enjoy this type of content? Is there a different price range you would like to see us do? Let us know. Glad to hear from you.